Hello and welcome to Who We Eat, an official Doctor Who watch along podcast. Podcast where we watch Doctor Who in order. We started the podcast from the 1970s and now are going towards the 80s. But before we head to the 80s, what we're doing today is taking a little bit into a peek into the Doctor Who expanded universe. Today's episode is going to be on the 2000 Doctor Who book, Festival of Death. But before we get into that, I'm here with my co-host Ben. How you doing today, Ben?
I'm doing good. I've been getting back into some game development
Mm,
just on my personal time. I don't think I'm going to get a job in the industry anytime soon, very sadly,
it's a bad time right now.
because of damn AI had to be birthed right when I graduate.
And just kill QA, which is the start of many
Yep.
game devs' careers.
And particularly programming, which is what I want to do. If I was like an art guy,
Yeah.
then there's still that kind of portion hasn't been 100% replaced, but or hasn't been replaced. Nothing's been 100% replaced, but it made things a lot harder.
Oh yeah. Gotta make the next Palatra, Ben. Or
Yeah,
the next what was the first of all this like Friendslop games? I forget the name of it.
Among Us.
No, Lethal Company. Well, I guess Among Us was kind of the first, but Lethal Company was the really first
Eh,
big,
Among Us is
like,
the common ancestor, I would say.
yeah. But I think there's something in particular for like first person, and then like, did Among Us have what do you call it, proximity chat?
No,
But I think that's integral to the formula now.
but I feel like everybody always played it in Discord.
But proximity chat I think is in particular something of that genre now that Lethal Company brought.
True. Yeah. Yeah, Lethal Company really has brought it to the forefront. And now we got Peak and Repo and all the Friendslop.
But we're not going to be talking about slop today, Ben.
No.
How do you think of that segue, Ben?
Perfect.
Today, like I said, we're going to be talking about Festival of Death. It was released September 4th, 2000, written by Jonathan Morris. Do you know what we did before that was written by Jonathan Morris, Ben?
I don't.
He did that second one of the Lost Story, the Peter Hinch, the not Peter Hinchcliffe, sorry, the Hinchcliffe Lost Stories thing.
Oh, the Valley of Death?
He did the Valley of Death. He adapted the screenplay for that one into a story.
Cool.
He, of course, has written a ton of Doctor Who. One of probably the most quantity wise of people that wrote for Doctor Who, but never actually wrote for the Doctor Who show. He has done multiple books in the Eighth Doctor range and the new series range, short stories, and then has done a lot of Big Finish, including with the Main Rage, the Fourth Doctor Adventures, the Fifth Doctor Adventures, the Sixth Doctor Adventure, novel adaptations, the Eighth Doctor Adventures, Doc Eyes, the Tenth Doctor and River Song Adventures, Classic Doctors and New Monsters, etc., etc. There's just so many that I am shocked this man has not.
Even some Doctor Who magazine comics.
I'm surprised this man has not stopped doing stopped writing for Doctor Who yet. But yes, he has also done some Doctor Who magazine comics as well.
Wow.
So basically, he has done everything that's not the TV show. He hasn't wrote a Doctor Who game yet. I think.
I mean, there are a very limited amount of those. Only so many people can. Ooh, I'm gonna gotta get hyped because I'm gonna do my first game review soon. Do you know what the first Doctor Who game?
What was the first Doctor Who game, Ben?
It was Doctor Who: The First Adventure on the BBC Micro, which came out in the tail end of the Fifth Doctor's run in 1983. And Google it. It's not good.
I could imagine.
It's basically a bunch of Doctor Who skins of pre-existing games played in sequence. Like there's a Doctor Who Frogger like,
Oof.
but it starts the Fifth Doctor, so gotta go in order.
But anyways, Jonathan Morris. The main two that I have known about is the. I've heard that Tomorrow Windows is supposed to be another really good book. That was his Eighth Doctor book. That was, I think, one of the last of the Eighth Doctor books in 2004. And like I said, he's done a bunch of Big Finish. So yeah, and this was his first Doctor Who thing. This is also, I think, was his first actual book. Period. The year it was released, it won the best past Doctor Adventures in Doctor Who magazine computer poll, and of course, it was selected to be re-released in 2013 in like what's the exact range?
The
The
50th anniversary collection.
Yeah, but I think they also call it like 11 classic adventures, 11 brilliant writers, one incredible collection. They did it. I read it that version of it because I was cheap and just got the cheaper version. I think you said you got the original copy.
Yeah, off of eBay. Uh, so it matches all the other books that I have.
I've got a decent amount of these because I got this one. I got the last year the Gathering. I got in this one, and I got the. They did Remembrance of the Daleks in this range too for some reason. So I
Yep.
got that version of Remembrance of the Daleks. So let's just get right into it, actually, because I don't know what else to say about behind the scenes stuff. Because usually we have like director, showrunner, all that stuff, but then I was just the writer.
Just a writer. I mean, you could shout out the cover artist.
Good point. Who is the cover artist? But do you know?
Uh, the wiki just says like the company Black Sheep who did all the novel covers. So I don't know who is the person. So never mind.
What is that in the cover, anyways? I read the book and I'm like, I don't know who that even is.
A depiction of death. I don't think it's a specific
But you
character.
you know what I'm saying. I don't remember any winged things
No,
in this
it's
story.
not like what's the guy? Galura or something. An arboreton.
And the weird thing is on the 50th collection, it's the doctor
Maybe it's the repulsion.
it's the doctor no, because that like well maybe the 50th version is also weird because it's the doctor's face and it just has a lizard, which of course there is
Oh,
lizards in the story, lizard men, but there isn't just a little lizard guy.
yeah.
Very weird stuff. But anyways,
Hoopy.
before we get into I want to separate this into two chunks. Usually we just go full spoilers on this show. Go first with an overall discussion and let's not do any spoilers. Let's do it as somebody who has not read this book. What would you say to them about this book, Ben?
I would say read it. It's very good. What what is in the synopsis so I know what I can and can't say?
Okay. I can read the synopsis before we get into it. I'm going to do the 50th anniversary version, the 2013 BBC Books edition, which says The Beautiful Death is the ultimate theme park ride, a sightseeing tour of the afterlife, but something has gone wrong. And when the fourth Doctor arrives in the aftermath of the disaster, he is congratulated for saving the population from destruction, something he actually hasn't done yet. He has no choice but to travel back in time and discover how he has become a hero. And then he finds out he did it by sacrificing his life.
Okay. So that's a good rundown. Just the core, I would say, premise of this, which is he shows up and he's already saved the day, and there are these kind of recursive layers of continuing to go further and further back in time in order to do what he's already done is just a really, really interesting and unique premise, which you think would make the book feel like there aren't any stakes, but it doesn't because you don't know how it happens. It is always still, on the edge of your seat, interesting. I think it's a pitch perfect representation of this kind of Douglas Adams script editor era. I think everybody's characterization is really good. I would highly, highly recommend it. What about you?
I agree. I think that what this story does best is that it captures a lot of that magic of the Douglas Adams Doctor Who. Like it's very much is inspired by that era, with the humor and then some of the big ideas of the story, but also it does evolve it to be more of a modern take. You can tell this book is written in 2000 and not in 1970s
Oh, for
when
sure.
of
Yeah.
that time. Like it's very much is a modern Doctor Who story, but also is feels genuine of that era at the same time. I think that the best way I can describe it is that this is a very Stephen Moffat-y Doctor Who book. Like it's very much similar to a lot of his stories of Like he does has stories very similar to this where the doctor has to go back in the past, but then he can't interrupt himself in the past. Like to save the day, he has to like, we have to do the things in the foreground where his past is in the background and like stuff like that, where it's very timey-wimey. This is a very timey-wimey story
Oh, yes.
and it's very fun to read. It's very much one of those stories where basically you get into it and you're just like, "Oh, I just want to read the next chapter, read the next chapter, read the next chapter." You're constantly on the edge of your seat and you're constantly just trying to figure out how is the doctor going to get himself out of this one. I think that in some ways the whole conceit of it of just being like he dies.
That's kinda hard to pull off.
Yeah, it's just like I know he's not dead, so it's not, and also this whole story is about a machine that can bring people back from the dead. So it's like you kind of know that that stake isn't really there, but it is a fun enough premise to go like, okay, how is he going to get himself out of that one? You know,
Yeah.
it's also just fun too. It's not even just the death pot; it's how he gets to that point. You know,
Yeah, yeah. Quick sidebar. Can't Time Lords just, like, die without coming to the end of their regeneration cycle?
yes.
Because that was like, "Oh, he can just regenerate," you know? Is he really in danger?
Well, like, yeah, so basically there's some things that even of a generation, it's like basically the way that the show describes it, it's like if you shoot him, right? If you shoot him and then you shoot him while he's regenerating, like he's dead. Or it's like, the nuclear bomb goes off and then another nuclear bomb goes off. The doctor's dead.
So, there's, like, a state of vulnerability.
Yeah. Also, I don't think even Time Lords could like.
I suppose if you getting shot or stabbed or wasting away is one thing, but, like, I suppose I could see, like, utter decimation,
Yeah.
like a nuclear bomb, like what happened to Morbius.
Yeah.
I guess that would kill them, although even Morbius didn't really die.
I don't know how like them dying from suffocating in like space would work with no oxygen. Like, would they just like keep on regenerating, or would they just die? I have no idea. We never explored that.
Or be stuck in stasis until they're back in a livable environment.
Maybe
Hibernate.
that would be kind of cool. They should do that. But anyways, get back on it. I would say that's
Yes.
that spoiler warning. We're gonna spoil from now on. Go read the book if you haven't.
Do it.
This is a must read for if you're a Doctor Who fan.
Yeah.
So let's get right into it. I want to talk about one of my favorite things in the book.
Yeah.
It's not going in any particular order. I just want to talk about my favorite things, and it's Eric, the computer. Eric, the computer is very funny of having this robot that just wants to die, and
Yes.
it's very clever thing of just like you very it's very funny that this robot just wants to keep on the telling everyone that he just kill me. I want this existence is just like awful. Like I just want to die. But at the same time, like you feel really sad for this
Uh,
machine.
Especially when you learn why he is this way.
But like especially when Metcalf is just like abusing him and torturing him by turning him on and turning him back off again. Like it's just like brutal.
Yes, and very I think he in particular is a very Douglas Adams-y character, very obvious parallels with I'm blanking on the name, but the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy robot, who also is, like, depressed and just wants to die, Marvin. Did you see the movie or anything?
No, I know nothing about the Galaxy. I listened to like the first audiobook, not audiobook, the first audio play, and I couldn't get into it.
I have to imagine you've seen a picture of this guy.
I've seen the one with I've seen the picture. Yeah, I've seen the movie version photo.
Yeah. He's fun, and definitely a lot of parallels. But yeah, Eric is great.
But I was listening before this. I listened to an interview with Jonathan Morris, and he said something along the lines of he thinks he was rereading it for that 50th anniversary edition, and he thought that while rereading it, you can kind of tell in the first 4 or 5 chapters that he is learning how to write a novel, and then by that point, the story like flies by. I kind of agree with him that like I feel like by that point where I got to that like after that fifth chapter, I was like the quality did not drastically improve, but it was like I much more found myself invested in the story after that.
Mhm.
Do you agree with that, or did you not feel that?
I mean, definitely the more time I sunk into it, the more I was invested. But I would say I was, intrigued pretty much right away, you know? It isn't like comparing it to the last book we read for the podcast, Last of the Gathering, where the first like half of the story I was pretty bored.
Yeah.
This, even just the prologue, is like, oh shit.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
No, the prologue is great, and I love that also in the prologue you don't it's just a great piece of writing that, like, a lot of times when it comes
and
to, like
it doesn't come back into play until the very end.
but that's why it's, like, a lot of things where, like, with Doctor Who, it's like, when it's not the Doctor or the companion, it's like, I don't care. But that's something that automatically it doesn't even have the Doctor in it, automatically the writing is so good in that the prologue that, like, you're already like, "Oh, shit, this is a different quality of Doctor Who book." And like you said, when it does find out at the very end or close to the end, you find out really at the epilogue, like, everything, but, like, just like, "Oh, shit, it was Paradox this whole entire time," and then, like, how Paradox got, being John Malkovich. I don't know if you were thinking about that.
No, I wasn't.
But you remember at the end of Being John Malkovich when he's stuck in the baby's mind, the little girl's mind?
It's been a while since I've seen that
Yeah.
movie. I literally don't remember.
But it's very much has a similar ending of, like, I have to live this whole life, but I'm stuck in this brain that can't hear me.
It's worse though, because that life is gonna make the exact same choices, and
Yeah,
that life is gonna get back into the necroport and do the same
yeah,
thing again,
and
and
again,
this is
and
just
again,
his existence infinitely
forever.
forever.
It's such a dark ending. I don't think you could you probably could do that in a show, but, like, what are some stuff here that you think, like is there stuff here that you don't think could make it on the show?
Like, content-wise,
Yeah, I don't know if the show itself could do this premise alone of just this idea of they die and then we bring them back 30 minutes later. That's a very grown up premise. I don't know if you could I don't know if a 7-year-old could watch that. That might be too much for them.
I don't know. I think you only need, like, 3 sets, and you can just keep reusing them.
Oh
That
yeah.
wouldn't be a problem, but content-wise, I don't know, it's hard to say. It definitely is an adult concept.
It's very much in line of the expanded media of the Wilderness Years book of, like, the demographic for this book isn't normal Doctor Who demographic. It knows that it's, like, grown men are reading this book.
Yeah, someone that watched the show when it was on 10, 20 years ago
Yeah.
and are now 30, 40. One thing that I really liked about the book that I wanna throw out there is when they kinda break the fourth wall a little bit and acknowledge the kind of tropes of the era, like when the doctor says, "Well, normally within the first 24 and a half minutes of arriving somewhere, I'm thrown in prison, and K9 has to rescue me."
Yeah.
And K9's like, "Oh, there's a 90% chance that you will need me to rescue you."
And of course, he does get kidnapped at a point in the story. Well, multiple times in the story, he gets kidnapped.
Mhm. Speaking of K9, I liked there were several bits where it was we kinda switched perspective a lot, and a couple times it was first person K9 perspective, where we saw the inner workings of his mind, his neural net, and what he thinks of, the world and the doctor, which I thought that was interesting. Master Doctor.
But this is definitely a version of, like, the three main characters, Doctor, Romana, and K9 are so well written here. Like, they feel so genuine to their TV show counterparts.
Oh, yeah, I heard Tom and I heard Lala in my head. Perfect. That's what they would say.
Yeah. Or how they would act.
Yeah.
Like, there was a moment in the book that where I was like towards the end, especially when the Doctor isn't dead, you would think, like, a modern companion would hug the Doctor at that moment, but, like, the Contact Romana is not hugging the Doctor, you know?
Yeah. What do we think about the I guess there's 2 villains. There's Paddox, and then there's the Repulsion. Well, Paddox honestly isn't in the story that much,
No.
and the Repulsion is more interesting. What do you think of the
Yeah.
Repulsion?
But neither of them are really in the story that much.
No.
The main villain also is just like it's just like their future selves is kind of like the main thing of just like we have to do this so this thing
Yeah.
happens and like we have to do that and
The main villain is the first law of time travel.
yeah. And then like and then also there's like the the obstacles of the zombies, and then the what are they called? The aquapods or something like that.
On the ship in the past,
Yeah, on the Cerberus.
arachnopods.
Arachnopods. But, like, you have those 2 with the zombies, which is kind of like a like, the muscle, you know? They're the threat that they have to overcome.
I mean, they're existing in separate space and times, though.
Yeah. Yeah, but, like, they're the obstacle the obstacles that they have to overcome. I don't know per se if you needed both of them,
Well, you can't have zombies in the past.
but, like but you no, but you could have had zombies in the past that there's a time distortion in the coming through.
I mean, sure, he could have found a way if he really wanted. I think the arachnopods are really interesting concept for a species. This like
Yeah,
hive mind of, or is it a hive mind? I don't know. Just this collection of body parts
yeah,
that communicate with each other.
but mostly just say eats.
It's where the eats stealing body parts from each other to get bigger.
It's cool, but also it was at the point where I'm like, I don't know how much of this was needed. I don't know if you needed more. Like, there's so many ideas in this. Like, you could have. I think he could have cut some of this stuff out and made it like this could have been like an even better like 280 book if there was just a little if it was trimmed just a little bit. I don't know. Might be a little bit nitpicky, but
I think this is pretty dang good though.
it's a very good book.
Maybe even the best one I've read. That's Doctor Who.
But I would say also, like, going back to what I previously said, like, when he was, like, the first 4 or 5 chapters that, he was still learning how to write. I would say the book really kicks in that first time when they go back in time.
Yeah.
That's when I think I was really invested in the story and was very much like, "Okay, wow, what's gonna happen?" And then that's when also where we get to learn more about the actual Festival of Death itself.
Mhm. Yeah, it's such an interesting puzzle box where we're just going through these deeper and deeper layers.
Yeah, it's a book that you kinda wanna reread after reading it for the first time.
Yeah, I feel like I would get a lot out of it, seeing how it all connected.
I really wish that Big Finish did a novel adaptation of this. I don't know why they haven't yet. Because I'd love to listen. I would what I would have done is would have read this and I would have loved to have listened to them perform this.
I think most of Big Finish's adaptations are of the Virgin stuff.
Ah,
I think these BBC books fall under the realm of the BBC has to do an audiobook for it.
yeah, but those Big Finish ones, yeah, they're Virgin, but like, I don't know. That is true though. I didn't realize that. That yeah, all the novel adaptations they have done has been all the Virgin stuff. But then the BBC doesn't do anything with that Virgin stuff. The only thing that I've known recently is that they re-released Shake Dance, whatever the one with the Santaran is.
Shakedown.
They re-released that a couple years ago. Then of New Human Nature.
Yeah, as one of the like monster collection books.
But usually they haven't reprinted like Love and War or the first Benny Summerfield one, or they haven't reprinted, of course, some of the big ones like Longbarrow. But no, it's great. I don't know what else there is to say except for it's very good. It's very timey-wimey.
Very timey-wimey. More Doctor Who stories need to be timey-wimey.
Oh, you're gonna love Stephen Moffat.
And the time travel show should be about time travel.
I was just thinking about like some of his episodes. In particular, I think that the episodes are very much similar to this are
Moffat is like 11 and
11 and 12, but he also did a bunch of Russell T Davies 1 era stuff and also Russell T Davies 2 stuff. He wrote all he's I think the most written Doctor Who writer.
oh, did he do is he the one who did Boom?
Yeah, but the ones I thought that this was very much similar to was Silence in the Library and Forest of the Dead, as well as Patriarchal Opens and
I've seen clips on TikTok of the library that makes it look interesting.
yeah. No, I think you're gonna like Moffat. I don't know how much you're gonna like Russell T Davies because he's very much different, but I think you're gonna like Moffat.
Yeah, we'll see. Russell T Davies, did he do series 1?
Yeah, he did series one. Much more of character drama for him.
I wonder, this is going off topic. I wonder if I will like series 1 more the second time around.
I wonder too.
Because that is one though before meeting you in college,
Yeah,
that I saw series 1 and was like, "Eh," when I was,
yeah.
like, 14.
Which is so interesting because that is I'm in the camp of like thinking that's one of the best seasons of Doctor Who. So I'm very interested to see what you think about it and how much you're gonna go, oh no, this is a great episode. You're gonna be like, this isn't it for me. because that's the thing about Doctor Who also is that as you already know, it's so different from every era. Like it's a show that can you might like one Doctor, but you might not really like the next Doctor. Or even with Tom, it's like you might like him in the beginning, but you might not like him in the middle. You know, it's constantly changing. So it's not even like you might not like season one, but you might really like season five when Moffat takes over the show and it becomes much more of I don't know even what you call it. It's always weird using adjectives for like that for Doctor Who because it's always the same show, but it's always just slightly different.
Lot to look forward to.
Yeah, I'm excited to. Uh, I want to. This has made me want to listen to and read more Jonathan Morris stuff because I'm like I want to know is this his peak or is it more? Because I listened to a couple of his Big Finish stuff. I was never like, oh my god, this is really good. I always just thought they were kind of okay. So I think I'm gonna soon listen to. He did Blood Ties, which is a Sixth Doctor and Silurian story about Charles Dickens. Not sorry, Charles Dickens. Sorry, who's the one that did Evolution, Ben? Charles Darwin. So it's Silurians with so like evolution with the Silurians in there. Like that's gonna be fucking cool. I am interested. He did a Touched by Angels, which is a Weeping Angel story. So with no reading this and being like, oh no, this guy can do timey wimey. So him doing a Weeping Angel story would be kind of cool to see what he does with that type of creature.
Oh, he did an audio adaptation of Russell T Davies' Virgin New Adventure book,
Yeah.
Damaged Goods. Yeah, cool. Anything more to say about Festival of Death?
I feel like we haven't talked about it enough, but also it's like it's a book that's kind of like I don't know how he fucking wrote it to be honest with you.
Yeah,
Like it feels like one of those things where it's like it feels pretty planned out, even though I don't know how much of it while he was writing he was actually knew ahead of it, how he was gonna pay that off.
I would have to imagine the only way you could have written this book is with a very, very detailed outline ahead of time, and then probably lots of revisions to make sure it all connects to itself.
Yeah.
We see the payoffs in chapter 1 for the setups in chapter 20, which I think it would be interesting to reread this.
Which is why also it is hard to talk about it because it's like there's that setup element. I'm kind of when I'm reading, I'm like, I think I remember the setup. I think I remember the payoff for this, but that was I read that like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's definitely happened. Like Paddocks, I think, talks about, I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna change it so my parents they never go in the airlock. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I didn't remember the prologue at that point.
Mm.
And didn't click it with me until I read the epilogue. Oh, damn, yeah.
Wow, it took you that long? Interesting.
I didn't remember the prologue until I read the epilogue.
Because you know what happened to me? I thought when we got to the Serbius, I was like, "Does this have something to do with that?" And so then when he mentions that, I was like, "Okay, yeah." Now I was already was thinking like, how is he gonna tie that back? Which he does very well.
So Cam, how would you rate Festival of Death? I would say I like this more than Last of the Gathering.
Oh yeah, no shit. But I rated Gathering an 8. I still think that's a solid Doctor Who book.
Yes.
With like the highs of that book is very high. Like the ending of that is very big.
That first half of it though is
But
really
the
bad.
payoff is good.
Yeah. Like if I remember correctly, the doctor, he's like messing around on another planet and he's not in the action until you're like 80 pages in.
Yeah. It's a long time to get the doctor, which this is the complete opposite. It's like after the prologue, it's like a couple pages into it. You're like, oh no, we're already with the doctor and with Romana on the TARDIS.
Yeah. Dr. Romana, K9, doing stuff.
Yeah. I rated Gattamean an 8. And if we're going to expanded media, I gave Foe from the Future a 9, which is another great Doctor Who story. I think I'm gonna go as high as to saying this is a 9.5. I think this is a very strong story.
Yes.
I don't think it's a 10. I think, like I said, I think it's just like you could have cut a couple pages here and there. This could have been a really good 280 or 275 if you cut a couple of the ideas. It made it a little bit stronger, but still, it's very good.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 9.4 feels right. Really, really excellent.
Just couldn't give that 9.5.
Yeah, I mean,
If IGN gave a game a 9.4, would you not be like, just give it a 9.5?
eh, I suppose. Sure, yeah. 9.5. Really great. You should read it right now if you haven't already. Hopefully, you stopped at the spoilers and went and read it and came back a week later.
Join us next week as we when we do the retrospective.
Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Peace out.